Did he? Yeah. Cool.
125 and a half.
Official weight 125 and a half for Jasmine Jazdavicius. Next to the scale, Tatiana Suarez. Official weight 125 pounds for Tatiana Suarez.
Well, my apologies. Sorry about that. That was on me. That was on me. It was one little click of a button that I didn't click. Apologies. Props to everybody that stuck with us here. So yeah, pretty much a rush there. How many did we get there? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to start, including our main event. Nikita Krylov, Ryan Spann, already in. Your co-main event, Brendan Allen, Andre Muniz, already in. You got Dante Mays and Augusto Sakai, heavyweights. I imagine they'll probably show up a little later in the day. No reason to show up if you're not cutting, because you're just going to have to stick around and do the face-offs, because we will, of course, do the face-offs immediately after. And yes, I know a lot of people were excited for the return of Tatiana Suarez. I am as well. It was interesting to hear her say immediately that, you know, though she's at flyweight, she doesn't intend to go there. She intends to go back to strawweight, which I think is good. I mean, we'll see how she looks. I'm interested to see how she looks in these weigh-ins. The face-offs, actually. I mean, obviously she looked just good on the scale, but, you know, is she going to be undersized? I don't think necessarily against Montana De La Rosa, but, you know, interesting to hear that she's going to go back to strawweight. Mark Fellows, what's going on? Yeah, I was just waiting. See, what I did was I didn't have the audio on, so people were watching a stream with no audio, and they were understandably frustrated. I don't know about Richard Noggin, though. Richard Noggin, maybe saying he might go over to Junkie. Come on now. Nah, I'm just kidding. I was some man Cold Coffee up there doing good work. But yes, I had no audio, so yeah, it probably has something to do with the old-fashioned last night. We had a nice, we had a nice little tour around Vegas last night. We had a couple cold beers down at Pizza Rock downtown. Then we went over to Herbs and Rye, which is a great steakhouse. If you guys are ever in Vegas and looking for something off the strip, go to Herbs and Rye. Then we went to Frank's Tiki Room as well. And yeah, but I did make it here. I'm proud of myself. I just didn't make it here with the audio turned on. So that's on me. But we're still just 10 minutes into a 2-hour session. Appreciate everybody that stuck through my ridiculous mistake this morning. Happens sometimes. We all make mistakes. Juan Walker, what's going on? Yeah, Jordan Levitt's on here. Yeah, Juan, it's a little extra deep this morning. We're still recovering a little bit from last night. Yeah, Jordan Levitt's on the card. Like, with the nice haircut. Like Barry White, let's see. Oh, I had not heard that. Tate versus Bueno Silva targeted for June 3rd. Okay. I'm down for that. I had not heard that. I've been kind of out of the loop. Yesterday I was tied up in meetings all day. Meetings and then meetings to cocktails. But those are meetings too. Oh, that's a good question. Because, man, you know, when Tatiana, before she got hurt and was dealing with everything, man, she looked to me like every part future champion. You know, if not title contender at the very least. You know what I mean? So I think you got to give her a ranked opponent when she comes back. But that's kind of makes this fight interesting. It's just like you're kind of warming up, but you're not really in your division. Oh, looks like our break is over. Let's get back to action here.
Next to the scale, Carl Deaton.
Make sure you put your hands on your shoulders so you can see your hands are not seen. That should be good.
Official.
And then we'll do a pose. We're going to have to stand up and see the pose first.
Come back up there for me, Carl. Yeah, right up to that camera, 5 seconds. Go ahead.
Official weight 156 pounds for Carl Deaton.
2, 1. Good job, Rick. Appreciate it. What's the job?
I would try and resubmit some.
Oh, yeah, Juan Walker. That's a look, my man. He's got some flow. All right, hold on. Let's see here. Andrew says, "Did you marinate on the fact that Cyril has more significant experience than John Bones Jones?" More significant experience? What are you talking about? You're crazy. You're crazy. Oh wait, got some more action. Looks like we're gonna keep it going.
In other words, Chris, you got to go back. Yeah.
I saw screenshots.
Well, that's all you do this evening. You're good.
Next to the scale, O'Day Osborne.
Hold on. Wait.
130.
Official weight 130 pounds for O'Day Osborne.
1. Good job, love. Heidi, what was his weight?
130?
Catchweight, yes. 130 catchweight.
Thank you, that's why I was.
When Charles Johnson took the fight last week or whatever. Yeah. 130 catchweight.
130.
What was
Amy's
it?
catch weight.
It's a catchweight of 130 for him and Charles Johnson, everyone. It should be on your fight card. Is that not on your fight card?
We don't read those.
It is.
Let's read our fight cards, people.
Per my last email.
Heard the about sheets.
Corporate communication.
Heard the about sheets in front of you.
Yes.
We have more here if
I
you need
see
some.
it. I see it now.
It should read.
That's funny.
I've done that. I've done that a few times myself. Like, wait, what is that?
My ears heard 130. I'm like, that's not
Yeah, everybody was.
so that's
To be honest with you, I think I did see that the other day that I'd forgotten too. Ode and
Freak out when he hears 130.
yeah, you're all right. 130-pound catchweight there for Ode Osborne and
There wasn't a lot of
Charles Johnson, which it does say on our bout sheet right in front of us that some people weren't paying attention
I
to.
didn't do this for like,
Yeah.
I didn't say 130 with a dejected kind of.
What?
Everyone's knowing something was up.
They told me it was 130. I said 130.
Too funny. All right, let's scroll back up here a little bit here. Joe from H-Town, what's going on?
on Twitter are saying it did the same thing. They're like, oh,
Right. And this is
Significant experience at heavyweight. Cyril does have more significant experience at heavyweight. I have no.
Is when we get back.
Yeah, I mean that's not an argument. That's just a statement of fact. Obviously, that's what's exciting about it, right? Is John Jones is going to heavyweight for the first time. That's what we're all excited about. But I'm still picking John Jones. I think people are sleeping on John Jones, man. I think people just forgot. I think people just.
Hey everyone,
forgot.
quick announcement. There's been a cancellation tomorrow. The bout between Haley Cowan and Eileen Perez canceled. Illness for Haley Cowan, so that fight has been canceled.
Down to 11.
All right, so I had to tweet that out, but if you guys heard the audio, Brendan Fitzgerald just announced that Haley Cowan illness has caused a scratch to that, so Haley Cowan versus Aylin Perez is off. Not happening. One fight lost. All right, let's go. People are sleeping on Cyril too. Yeah, Matt, I left MMA Junkie like a year ago. Fabricio Andrade, I finished tonight. That's a good fight. One championship, got a good headliner tonight. Looking forward to that one. Plus Danielle Kelly is back, submission grappling. Scott McCray, what are John's two most visually vicious finishes? For me, it's DC. The standing guillotine on Nikita was just like the disrespect, like just dropping that man like a sack of potatoes, dude. Like, I don't know, always stick with me is visually vicious. To just choke a man unconscious and just let his limp body fall to the floor. Let's see what else we got here. See? Pull it up. John Jones Shevchenko parlay all day. Easy money. I'm telling you. Oh, they teaches 5th and 6th grade math. I didn't know that. Is that right? He still does? I did not know that, to be honest with you. That's pretty cool. Get your stuff together, guy. Ooh, yeah, Loma taking out Elise Reed. That was tough. Scrolling up a little bit. I did message William Knight, but I didn't hear back from him. I just messaged support, to be honest with you, man. The haters were out. I talked about it in the and a half episode afterwards, but what it looked like to me is because I think William Knight has gotten to a point now where he really conserves his energy, you know, almost like a Yoel Romero type situation where you know you're not going to have a full 15 minutes, so you conserve your energy. And then, I mean, his leg just got chopped up. And so by the time, like, he took a step forward in round 2 and his leg was gone. Like, you could see it immediately. So I kind of feel like he was, like, waiting, but he waited so long that then his leg was gone and then he didn't know what to do. So that's just my guess. I know he just kind of came out and said, "Hey, I froze," and so I guess that's true. He's owning it. But that's what it kind of felt like to me watching it live, was that he was kind of conserving his energy, but then when it came time to use his energy, his leg was gone. So I wanted to see this earlier. Let's see. If you see Daniel Cormier interviewing John Jones, if John Jones beats Gunn. Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, I don't think it'd be an issue, but Rogan. It would be kind of cool for Rogan to step aside and let DC do it. But I'm sure Rogan would do it. That's his gig.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What would it take for you to squash the beef with Kobe? Jake, I got no beef with Kobe. I don't even know if Kobe has beef with me. We know he said it, but we all know that Kobe likes to play games too and just kind of, sell fights and hype, right? So I don't even know if it's sincere, to be honest with you. I've tried to reach out to him personally, and he didn't get back to me. Like, we used to be pretty cool with each other. And I still don't know, like, if you go back to it, it's all, like he said, that I said he didn't deserve a title shot, which I never said. So I don't know if he misheard something, was mistold something, or if he's just playing. So that's the honest truth. But I got no beef with anybody, man. Life's too short to have problems. All right, looks like we're back to action.
Next to the scale, Montana De La Rosa.
Hey, brother. Sir.
$125.5. Official weight 125.5 for Montana De La Rosa.
Oh yeah, Todd Duffy fight this weekend too. I was supposed to talk to him, but we couldn't make the schedules work. I'm excited to see Todd Duffy back, man. He's obviously dealt with his struggles over the years, but man, that dude is a specimen, bro, and he's on point. So yeah, Todd Duffy back as well. MPTV. I think I've shared this before. I don't know if I've shared this publicly. Oh, if I should. So, I don't know if I've told this before. At the moment, that he laid the push-up comments out there, the first thing that crossed my mind, and it was like, as he was talking, it crossed my mind, was to tell him, I was like, or you could push up on these nuts. But I decided that would be highly unprofessional and not to say it. So I didn't. But it was on my mind. I was like biting my tongue not to say it. But I didn't, because I felt it would be highly inappropriate. So there's my story of what I was going to say, but I bit my tongue because I decided that it was better to just be a professional. All right, let's see here. Joseph surprise Cyril Gane as an underdog. Oh, hold on. Guess we're back to action.
Next to the scale, Dante Mays.
$261.5.
Official weight 261 and a half for Dante Mays.
ACC show on Thursday, and then I usually do like an SEC show or something on Saturdays, and then the fight on Tuesdays. I mean, I got what he was saying. Yeah. I was like, well, that's just part of the show. And then, because I was still like sports mode back then. And even though like I knew sports, sports and entertainment, but I wasn't smack in the face as much. Right. You're still worried about when you do studio shows, you're worried about championship or whatever.
Okay, Mark confirms I did tell him. I couldn't remember Fight Night. I thought I had, but I was like, am I saying something I haven't said before? Yeah, I did tell that story on the MMA Roadshow, which you should all be listening to. It's a highly entertaining podcast. But nah, MP. Yeah, even the one long thing, I probably shouldn't have said, but I don't feel like we should be out there trying to be part of the show. You know what I mean? Like, we're here to document something. We're here to cover something. We're not here to be part of it. And I guess we end up being part of it sometimes. But I think when you go out of your way to make yourself part of it, I'm not a fan of that. So, yeah, even the one lung thing, I probably shouldn't have said that. But I had to fire back a little bit. It was funny the number of people who didn't know what I was saying at that. I got so many people that messaged me online that were like, "Bro, it's inspirational to what you've been able to do while you're missing a lung." I was like, "Nah, bro, I was just talking shit." People were being like super nice. I like it. Kevin O'Reilly's he's a buddy of mine, man. I've known him for a long time. Kevin's a good dude. He's I cite him a lot for the one story that's crazy that, he told me that and I couldn't even believe it, man. He's been ringside for 7 different deaths in boxing, which is insane. Crazy, man. I hate talking about that stuff, but it always makes me wonder if it happens in our sport, how it'll change things. But Kevin's a good dude. I know a lot of people like to hate on him, but he's a good dude. Oh, back to action.
Next to the scale, Yolan Lanus. Official weight 171 pounds for Yolan Lanus. Next to the scale, Eric Gonzalez. Official weight 156 pounds for Eric Gonzalez.
All right, so that leaves us getting down to it, man. Augusto Sakai, Charles Johnson. Haley Cowan will not be weighing in. Aliv and Alvis still to weigh in. So 1, 2, 3, only 4 left to go. Face-offs will follow immediately. Well, face-offs will follow at 11 a.m. local. Sometimes they go a little early, but it just depends if everybody's ready, if the matchmaker's here, all that good stuff. Pull it up, Jimmy. No weight misses yet. We did have one use of the, what do you call it, the box, I guess? And we have one scratch with Haley Cowan. To be honest, me and Ariel have had very few interactions with each other over the years. for a long time there was like a real kind of rivalry between the sites. I think that's kind of lessened, in my time with Junkie. But for years, like everybody was kind of defensive and didn't really hang out with people from other sites. That's changed now. But we were kind of both coming up during that era when everybody kind of stuck to themselves. You know what I mean? Plus, he doesn't drink. Although I think maybe he does now. I'm not sure. But so I'm going to the bar afterwards, and he wasn't. So we didn't like run into each other socially. Obviously, he's East Coast based, me Las Vegas. So to be honest with you, I've had a handful of interactions with him over the year. The hurting curtain. The hurting curtain. I like it. Oh, OnlyFans should sponsor the weight box. You're so true. You got naked people behind there, right? That's a good point. The UFC doesn't do anything directly with OnlyFans, though, right? I don't think so. I mean, I know a lot of the athletes are signing up for it. It'd be an interesting one because, they sponsor CFFC, so I mean, they're definitely an MMA game. I know, like, Billy Quarantillo's on there. I think I heard Big John and Josh Thompson, their podcast is sponsored by OnlyFans as well. So, I mean, they're definitely getting in the game. But I wonder if the UFC would see that as, like, a little too far. Well, I'm sure if the money was right, they'd be okay with it. But I'm just curious. Anna Rube, no getting emotional there. Yeah, right? Yo. Richard Noggin, think you saw it on the mat. That's what I'm trying to remember. Have they done anything with the UFC? Like I said, we have it at CFFC. I don't think they've done anything directly with UFC. But I know they're investing money in the space for sure, man. Scottie Pippen's new whiskey?
I know.
No, I haven't tried that. Oh, I mean, I'm down to try it. What else we got here? Furiosa uses it with the ring girls. Yeah, we did that. Did that for one show. I think we just do like mat space now at CFFC. I'll be honest, I don't catch a lot of the Fury FC cards. And I like to because they're doing shows in Texas, you know what I mean? Which is awesome. That's my home state, and I like to see that. But I try to keep Sundays like just for the family, not get on the phone, not get on the computer, just hang out with the family basically. So I know they do a lot of Sunday shows. And Rude, there has been some progress on the internship ideas. In fact, we're working on that. My man Cody Merrow is actually putting together some people now, and we're working on some stuff. So DM Cody, tell him you're interested, because we are working on doing something. Oh yeah, so you were asking Philip about Wiley versus Lamos. I have not heard that it's for sure going to be announced. Sorry, and I saw that message a couple times. It seems like we got busy just after each time. I have not heard that is imminent, but it would not shock me one bit. It was funny, Jamie. I was talking about that on the podcast this week, and at first I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to buy it. And then by the end of talking about it, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably end up buying it. I'll probably end up buying it. But I'm not. I'll be interested. But the Paul Fury doesn't interest me as much. Like, I'm not a Jake Paul hater by any stretch. I respect him. I respect the hustle that those two dudes have put on. Boy, I don't watch pro wrestling much, but some of those highlights that I've seen of Logan Paul in the WWE, like that, I mean, that's impressive. Like, I mean, you can just appreciate like athleticism, right? And like everybody sounds like he's like a natural at it, So I'm not a hater by any stretch, but I don't look at them as like, oh, these are guys I have to watch fight. Like I've never watched any of their other content. It's funny, I actually sat next to Jake Paul in a plane one time. This is way before like the MMA stuff, and I had no idea who he was. And he sat down next to me and like busted out his phone and like recorded a quick clip or whatever, and then like sent a voice message to one of his editors or whatever, like explaining what he had uploaded. And I was like, who the fuck is this dude right here? But that was the first time I got exposed to him. And it was, I can't remember who it was. Somebody hit me up on Twitter. It might have been one of you guys. Somebody hit me up on Twitter and was like, were you in the Jake Paul blog? And I'm like, was I? I don't know. And then I pulled it up, and that's when I first got exposed to him. I'm like, holy cow, this dude has like millions and millions of followers. It's crazy. So anyway, I've never seen any of his content or anything like that. So respect them. Have to appreciate what they've accomplished. You know, when it crosses over to MMA, that's when I get interested. Like the Anderson Silva fight, I was super interested in. Like I definitely wanted to watch that. When it crosses over to the MMA world and like people that I've covered, like I get interested in it. But when it's the Tommy Fury thing, just doesn't, like, I don't really know Tommy Fury, to be honest with you, and I don't look at Jake as like a future world champion, you know. So I don't feel like I'm like obligated to watch him because like, hey, this is the best dude on the planet right now, you gotta watch him compete. But the circus of it all, and I like the fact that it's on Sunday. Like I said, I usually just Sunday kind of hang out with the family, but like I could probably get them to watch that. Like, dude, my kid has been trying to find, I don't know what kind of marketing they're doing with kids with that Prime drink, but dude, my kid, every time we walk into a store, he's like, dude, I want to find Prime. I got to find Prime. Like, it's crazy. So I could probably get them to watch that because I could just be like, hey, the dude, but it's his brother behind that, right? But anyway, I could probably tie it in. They'd watch it. So, but watching, that's why I just like on Sundays I don't normally watch the Fury FC events. Like I think my family would be mad. I'm like, hey, let's watch a Fight Pass event today. You know, they kind of like me to disconnect a little bit. But if I sold them on a boxing match, we could. So, long story all around, I'm really not all that interested in watching it, but I might end up buying it just because it's on a Sunday and I'm chilling at home. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see. Richard Noggin opinions. Yoel Romero goes out and smashes next one in Bellator.
Direct something.
Nah, I don't think Yoel Romero's coming back to the UFC.
Oh yeah, that's going on.
Zach, Eli liked the Prime. He loved the Prime. I got another bottle for him yesterday. Well, I was having some meetings here at the UFC, and I snagged a bottle out of a refrigerator that I found. West Coast Prime. I tried the energy drink one, and I didn't like that at all. The hydration one, because I guess they have two, right? There's like an energy drink one and a hydration one. The energy drink one, I didn't like at all. I took like one sip of it. I'm like, ugh. But the hydration one, not bad. Yeah. So Richard, I don't think he's coming back to the UFC. Andy Rude says, if you were to do a Legends division matchup, what would it be? Tony Ferguson versus Jim Miller. I get rocket ship flavor ice cream energy drink at Dollar Tree. Yeah, Tony Ferguson, Jim Miller makes a lot of sense, man. Guys that are up there, it's harsh, man. The sport, the reality is, right? You get up there in age, and you got these young killers. And God, man, these young 20-year-olds now that, you know, from the time they were 10 years old, were like, I knew I was going to fight in the UFC. It's crazy, man. I mean, they've been training high-level jiu-jitsu, high-level wrestling, high-level striking from the time they were little kids. These are monsters now, which makes what Jim Miller's doing all the more impressive. And how about the fact that he doesn't care? You know? Yeah, I'll face a newcomer. Fine. Whatever. Just get me a fight. Like, Jim Miller is a stud, dude. Alexander Hernandez looked incredible. Jim Miller's a stud. And Tony Ferguson, man. Tony Ferguson's a legend, too. And you do wish there was a way to kind of match him up with guys similar to their own age, right? You know, not just putting them against these young killers. But that's just the reality. Oh, Hans Miller's definitely... Dude, UFC 300 is like next year. We were talking to him last week at the media day because, you know, when he was first mentioned, I'm going to fight at UFC 300, it was like way in the distance. You know what I mean? He's like, well, I did 100, I did 200, and you're like, all right, that's several years. He's like, I'd like to make it to 300. Now that's next year. That's next summertime. And you know, Dana's aware. The matchmakers are aware that he wants that. You know, he's verbalized it, and everybody has all the respect in the world for Jim Miller. So he definitely makes the 300. I was joking last week after his fight. I'm like, or actually during the middle of his fight, I was like, bro, he's gonna go to 400, 500. This dude's a stud, man. Dude's a stud. Oh, Guida, come on, yes, Clay Guida, another one. Stud, man. I love seeing him come out. Like, he's so much fun. I know, Zach, you know that. Coming out to the Fury grappling matches, man, his energy is so much fun. And yeah, his brother Jay, he's competed for Fury grappling a couple times. Clay comes out and slaps him, which is awesome. Alexander Gustafsson versus OSP. Yeah, it was tough watching OSP the other day. Michael, I'm picking Jones against Gane, man. We kind of talked about this at length last week. There were some people that were heavily on the side that, you know, Jones doesn't have a chance versus Gane. I think people just forgetting how good John Jones is/was. I mean, certainly there's question marks. Will his body work the same way at heavyweight? Will his timing be there after so many years away? But and again, maybe it's just because I've, you know, been there for the whole career of John Jones, but I just think people are sleeping on him, man. I'm picking John. There you go, Scott McCrate. That's it. I need to see him lose before I believe he loses. That's a great way of saying it. Just think about that. We've never seen him lose. Colossus, I'll be at post-fight tomorrow. It's hard to fight some, so Justin Villegas out there scrapping in the streets, huh? Diego Sanchez fight was tough to watch too. Yeah, that was just such a weird matchup, man. I love Diego, but like, and I mean, I love Diego, dude. Like, as a fighter, as a person, like, great dude, man. I've told the story before, but just to give you like the character that Diego Sanchez, it was Diego Sanchez was fighting in Mexico, and my son came to the event because my wife's family is from Mexico, so we came down there and hung out in Mexico City. But we just ran into Diego in the lobby. We were staying at the Fighter Hotel, and you know, it's Diego Sanchez fight week. He's got fight week stuff going on, but we ran into him in the lobby, and he took a second to pull my son to the side and was just like, you know, shook his hand real quick, and he was like, hey, do you know your dad is the absolute best at what he does? He's a great journalist, and just like was like singing my praises. Like, he didn't have to do that, you know what I mean? But to pull my son aside and to big up me to my son, like, come on, man. Like, that's, what a nice dude, you know what I mean? We have so many great interactions. So all that said, I just hated that matchup from the time it was announced. That's just tough. It's very, very tough, you know, to face a professional boxer in BKSC. That was tough. But I tell you what, man, all those videos of the greasing and stuff, it's interesting. I mean, I know some people just, you know, sour grapes or whatever, but man, some of those clips, like, what, that doesn't look normal. So hopefully nothing but the best for Diego moving forward, man. Quality dude. Make sure you ask Scott why they missed. We'll see if Dana comes. Dana doesn't, a lot of the fight nights, he doesn't do post-fight after a lot of the fight nights. Yeah. We talked about it a little bit earlier, maybe before you guys joined in. My opinion my thought watching that fight live with William Knight was I thought that he was trying to conserve his energy, and then when it came time to actually burn his energy, his leg was gone, because like he took a step forward on it and it couldn't go anymore, chopped the legs up. So hopefully it's not like a mental block, you know. He kind of admitted that Instagram video. He's like, hey, I just kind of froze up, and you know, he said, I'm going to continue on. Hopefully it's not like a mental block, because that can be. It kind of reminded me of that. If you guys have ever seen that Mike Perry clip that he gave to me in an interview one time, where he was talking about how, like, you know, your coaches are yelling, go, 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 and you're like, you go, motherfucker. I'm not trying to get hit. Damn. Yeah, that's a great clip. Great clip. But that stuff starts to get in your head a little bit, right? And if you're having like a mental freeze or a mental block, man, that can really, really affect you out there. So, again, watching live, my thought was Knight was kind of trying to hold his energy, and by the time he was ready to go, his leg was gone. But we'll see. It'll be really interesting to see his next fight. Yeah, Richard, glad he got away from Fabi as well, man. And I'm not just in here trying to talk trash on anybody, but it was just clear some of the things that were being done there were not in Diego's best interest. That was rough, man. That was a rough time. That was one too where I struggled, because having known Diego as long as I have, like, there was a part of me that just wanted to tell him, like, pull him aside and reach out to him and be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, come on, we can see this from the outside. But I just thought, it's not really my place. You know what I mean? That's not really my place. Like, again, don't make yourself part of the story. Don't make yourself part of this. But just man to man, like, I wanted to tell him, bro, this is not you. Like, get away from this. But I never did. I was torn on that, because as man to man, like, I felt like I wanted to tell him, like, this is bad for you, but as a professional, it just didn't seem like the right thing to do. Like, why am I getting involved in somebody's personal life? Like, just cover the sport, dummy. Yeah. But he's past it now. I've spoken to him since, in person, on the phone, interviews, and he's happy to be past that. Zach, that happens, man. It happens a lot. It's happened over the years, you know. It's caused rifts in gyms. I mean, the pretty public spat, you know, at Extreme Couture years ago between coaches, and a lot of it seemed to boil down to that. At least those were the accusations. Is like people were frustrated as to who was on the countdown show and who wasn't, who was featured and all that. Like, that stuff happens. It's just reality. That's why. But I tell you one, Henry Hooft, this is such a class. If you ever notice this, and I think it's such a class move, Henry Hooft, when he corners, he goes and sits in the corner before they start to introduce the fighters. I know it makes it sound like and I don't know why he does it, but it's always appeared to me, it's like he doesn't even want to be on camera. Like, he's not trying to get any of the spotlight. Like, he doesn't hang over the cage. He doesn't even stay in there. He lets the assistant coaches, you know, give that last second pep talk, give that last moment. He actually goes and sits. And it's a little detail that maybe some people haven't noticed. And like I said, maybe I don't know why he does it, but it's always struck me as him trying to get out of the spotlight and let the athlete have their shine. And that's always struck me as like a class move. It's always struck me as a class move. Yeah, Richard, those were crazy videos, man. And Rude, I can't reach out to Whitman. He doesn't like to do interviews very much at all. He's another one that likes to just stay behind the scenes and not really be the one getting the shine. But did you have specific questions about what's going on with Whitman, or just a general catch-up?
I think he said he grew up with his dad and wasn't around. It affected him in a negative way.
Amanda Nunes, yeah. When was the last time we saw her?
And the fact that, you know, it's with Myers' son.
Oh, wow. Yeah. July. Gosh, I'll be honest with you. I didn't realize it had been that long. Yeah, I know Juliana wants to the third fight between them.
The same thing you said to me.
I just get the feeling Amanda's, you know, I don't think she's around much longer. If I'm being honest, I think she's kind of into just having a family now, and she's got money, and you know the whole kind of, I don't want to say fallout at ATT, but yeah, you know, I think she felt a little frustrated by all that situation with Kayla and all that was being said. So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see her this summertime. Hopefully, we'll see her this summer. Yeah, at 145 division, I feel like once Amanda's gone, I think once she hangs it up, they probably kill that division. Just a guess. I mean, because they've talked about building it out, but they haven't. You know, like when we do the rankings every week, that's not even a division that's eligible to be ranked. Yeah, to me, I just get the feeling like they just have 45 around just so that, you know, because they have respect for Nunes, and she did win it. You know, she's been the 2-division champion, and that's a marketable thing. But I get the feeling when she's done, they're probably done with 45. Justin Villegas, Dos Equis has not contacted me. They should. They should. I will take any beer company that wants a little Coors Light would be all right. A little PBR. Irene Aldana deserves a title shot. Amanda Smith. I know, that's the thing, right? Richard is, you know, Amanda was such a dominant hitter. It's hard. Like, I totally understand why Juliana wants it again, and I understand her argument as to why she should get it again, right? Like, hey, I gave it to you. You need to give it to me. 100% understand it, but yeah, I think a lot of people are going to feel the way you feel, which is like, eh. And Zach, I'm with you. I think drop 45 and open up 105. I would bring in atom weight. I love that call. All right, let's go back to action. Let's see how many of the 4 we have left we can get in.
Yeah, well now it's
Next to the scale, Narulo Aliv. Oh, sorry. Official weight 155 pounds for Narulo Aliv.
All right, so I guess the answer is just one. So, taking a look, just for an update for anybody. Still waiting on Augusto Sakai, Charles Johnson, and Rafael Alves. It looks like he does look a little bit like heavy, especially because he even does like the same like not me God, you know, thing. The no one he like does the same thing. Yeah, sorry, we had to move those casuals out of the way. That's a UFC producer, so damn. Okay, hold on, let's see. Oh, I saw this earlier. Down in front, bud, yeah. The reason I asked you, Scott, if you could speak to these coaches about mental health and well-being. No, you know, I completely agree. So much of this sport to me is about the mental side of it, and I think people are starting to understand that and accept that more. But like, that's to me honestly what has attracted me to the sport from the very beginning. It's just like what kind of mindset you have to do this, to be successful at it. It's huge, man. It's a huge part of the game. And I always credit Donald Cerrone as being one of the first ones, I think, to really talk about the mental side of the game. Because, in the beginning it was just kind of a very macho, alpha male type, But then when you had a guy like Cowboy, you started talking about, like, dude, I throw up before every fight, and I get nervous, and I say, like, I'm never doing this shit again. And then I go out there, and I'm like, this is amazing, and I love it, The mental side of this is massive. And the coaches, I think the best coaches are the ones that definitely understand that, and know how to cater to their fighters and to get them ready and prepared. It's just not about the physical preparation; it's so much about the mental side of it. So, I think that's a massive part of the sport. I think the good coaches are kind of part psychologists as well, right? Look at that, Mark Fellows off to Bali and got a reservation at the sports bar at 8 a.m. for UFC 285. I love it. I do love that part of going to that part of the world, right? That the UFC pay-per-views start first thing in the morning. Sunday morning, wake up, grab you a frosty beverage, start watching some fights at 8 a.m. in the morning. It's the best. Alright, let's see if I missed anything up above here. Justin Villegas, that's pretty funny. Method actor doing Shakespeare, I gotta laugh at that.
I just got my Tesla. I went and got all my panels aligned. I told you my ex had things like this. And then the golf door wouldn't open because it said needed calibration. So I bring it to them and they give me this $255. And I'm not paying it. It's a brand new car. But we will line this shit up. And then they gave me
Posting pics, Mark Fellows. We'll be looking forward to it. Beer and donuts. No complaints.
But I gotta tell you, my ex has so many little things that they have to like when you get in, you press up the brake.
Yeah, not that Perez is out, Justin. It's Cowan is out, so the Perez fight is off. Juan Walker.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
So, I started watching the sport as a fan when I was young. Huge fan of the sport. And then started studying journalism, but not with the intention of covering MMA. Because to be honest, in the early days, like it didn't look like anything that was going to be around. You know what I mean? Like I never thought. People said, "Oh, did you foresee that MMA would be as big as it is?" Nope, sure didn't. I loved it, but I thought it was going to be an underground type thing, right? I mean, this was like the dark days, so I never saw it becoming this big. So I just like being around sports. Like I played baseball, basketball, soccer growing up, and realized I wasn't going to be able to be a professional athlete. Like I wasn't that good, of course, as the top, 0.1% of whatever. But I liked writing about it, and I liked telling stories and stuff like that. So I started studying journalism, and then I figured, wait, hold on. You want to do sports journalism and you like this sport, why not put the two together? And that's how it all came to be. What's going on, Don? Oh, is it Don F? Like, I could just see that little tiny. Is that Don Flamenco? I love it. I love it. Ron Swanson, get yourself a Spann tattoo. that Superman. Zach, I'm still impressed that Whitman went to the Art Institute. I didn't even know that. That's funny. That's a classic. The games of our youth. Well, at least my youth. You might be a young guy. I don't know. I remember playing Tyson's Punch-Out was the jam back in the day. The first time I beat that, it felt like the most amazing accomplishment ever.
And it's only gonna be a few minutes because we're not gonna do the full shot box. He's just gonna do like a couple of.
I showed it to my kid, but he didn't really seem as impressed by it. Mega Man 2, yep.
Will Psych be up there and everything
We
too?
won't even use the pipe yet. We're just gonna take the shirt off and he's gonna plop the shot right above his waist.
There's a show where mental health is the main topic. It'd be awesome. You know, thank you, Marfellas. Yeah, dude, it's all coming together. I love it. It's all coming together. Yeah. Packed full in March, man. I'm excited. If you ever notice, like, the way that I do my little scrums and interviews, it's usually about mindset. I don't really talk about technique. I mean, first of all, the fighters aren't going to give away their game plan. But honestly, and like John Kavanaugh, I know he kind of like made fun of me, or not made fun of me, but just made fun of the whole, like, how do you feel? What do you feel? I got to feel. But that's kind of the way I approach it, is like, what is your mindset? Like, how did you get over that loss? Like, how did you approach this? How did you deal with that year away? How did you deal with those injuries? How did you get out of that dark place? You know what I mean? So, like, if you notice, like, I don't really make it so much about, you know, mindset and psychology or whatever, like, but if you ever notice, I'm not sure you have, but a lot of my questions are based in that, because I think it's so intriguing, man. I just think that the mental strength that these athletes have to have is imperative. You know what I mean? It's inspiring. It's inspiring, and I think it's a reminder of, like, what you can do. You know what I mean? And they got struggles just like everybody else. You know. So. What's going on, bro? You all right?
Good, bro. You going to visit Monica?
Is this
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you going?
Is it?
Yeah. I'm bringing my family, even though my kid's like 10. I was like, that's maybe kind of heavy, but I don't feel like it's gonna be like a heavy thing. Like, I feel it's gonna be more like lighter. But I was like, just calm, respect the history. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, for sure.
You good though?
Yeah, all good. How about you?
Good. Good. I'm still trying to wake up. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Friday mornings are tough.
I do. They're tougher. They're tougher for me for different reasons they are for you, but they're tough for me too. They're tough for me too. I'll try to rehydrate. Yeah. Alex Buchanan reminded me Sunday morning, celebration of life for Stephan Bonner, that they're doing here at the UFC Apex. Actually, the UFC's putting on. So I'm bringing my family to that just to pay my respects. All right, let's see what's better. Richard Noggin, you should do a show on the best bars in these cities you visit. It's fun. We used to joke about that. There was a Matt Radmanovich, actually, was the one that came up with this idea. He's a good friend that used to be UFC PR. He left and went and worked for Red Bull for a while and went to Europe, and then he came back. I think he's working for Gold's Gym now. But he always said we should do put it on Fight Pass and do like John Morgan's Looking for a Pint. Obviously the play on words there. Scroll back up a little bit. Sorry, I was talking to Alex Buchanan there. Yeah, Whitman's MMA gloves. They are a good design, and I know he's talked to the UFC, but I think he's never really been able to make any progress with them, which I don't know why that is. I think, if I remember right, I think they own the company that manufactures the gloves, which makes sense if you're going to be like somebody's chief I mean, if you're their chief customer, save yourself money and just buy the company. James S., appreciate you. And a rude, yeah, no, I definitely like the idea. Mike Tyson signed gloves, that's what's up. There you go, Richard. That was part of it. Looking for a pint. Justin Villegas. Every hero needs a sidekick. Appreciate you. Zach, yeah, the post loss, it is tough. It's crazy, right? Because that is one thing that I've definitely learned over the years is, you know, when guys lose, that's when you need to reach out to them. That's when you need to talk to them. You know, after they win, their phone's blowing up, their social media's blowing up. Everybody's, you're the man. And then when you lose, nobody calls. You know, nobody texts. And part of that is you're like, and for a lot of the early years of my career, I thought, well, yeah, they want to be left alone. They want to process that on their own. But the truth is, no. Like, they really need to hear from you. Like, that's when you need to reach out and be like, yo, you know, love you, brother. You know, you're better days ahead. Like, you know, blah blah blah. It doesn't even have to be about the fight. You know, just reaching out. And so yeah, if you know somebody that's in the space and you got a relationship with them, like, I would encourage you, because I thought that for years. Like, oh, leave them alone. They want to be by themselves, and they want to deal with this. Nope. No. It's the other way around. Don't even bother texting somebody when they win. Don't even bother messaging somebody when they win. They got enough. When they lose and it's somebody you know, text them, reach out to them, talk to them, because they need it. It's the beautiful thing about the sport, and it's the shitty thing about this sport, man. When they say the highest to highs and the lowest to lows, it is exactly that. When you win, when you go in there into a cage and win, dominate somebody, like, it's the adrenaline, like, it's hard to sleep that night. You know what I mean? You might not be able to go to sleep because you're on top of the world. And when you lose and you get knocked out in front of your friends and family, and then what do you hear fighters say? They apologize to their team. I'm sorry. Think about that. You lose and you're apologizing to your team. Your team, what? No, you didn't do anything wrong. You don't need to apologize for anything. But that's the mindset. And it's so hard, dude. It's the lowest of lows. You know, you have a bad day in a baseball game. Blow up, you strike out 4 times, have a couple errors. Yeah, it's embarrassing. You come back and do it the next day. You have a bad day in this sport. You get your ass knocked out in front of your friends and your family, and you feel like shit. And you feel like everything you did was for nothing. It's hard, man. It's hard. Whatever that says in Russian, I appreciate you. Hopefully you weren't talking trash. I can't read Russian, so hopefully it's good. I've never thought about doing a super chat or donations. Maybe I should. I've actually thought about just doing these. I mean, started doing them during the weigh-ins. I've actually started about just doing them, like just on a random Thursday or whatever, just doing them every week. But still trying to map out my new schedule, my new role. So the post MMA junkie era a year later. Because I enjoy this. I enjoy just chatting with you guys, chatting about fights. Love it. Oh, that's what it was. Well, welcome to Nurul Ali. Ooh, I didn't see that in my Twitter DMs. And I'll look for it. I'm so behind on my DMs. I leave my DMs open because I like to be accessible, but it also means I get a whole lot of them and I get behind. And I've fallen terribly behind on keeping up my DMs. Maybe I can catch up this week. Don Flamenco. Yes, I'd be happy to. I appreciate the offer for lunch. If you're ever in Vegas, let me know. I'll take you up on it. Zach, yeah, the hate. That is the worst, man. Like, the people that talk trash and then tag fighters in it, dude, like, I just don't get it, man. Like, I hate the whole, like, oh, you lost me money on my bet. Like, I hate that. And I get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all, to be honest. Like, what in the hell? I guess maybe it's because you forget you're talking to a person. Like, you think you're talking to a team or an entity, not a person. I hate the people that do that. Like, oh, I lost my bet because you, like, bro, I lost half my paycheck and I broke my jaw. And, you know, like, what? Shut up. I hate that. That dude the other day at that Dustin Poirier thing, you know, at the parade to show the sign, like, what the come on, man. I don't get it. And so I don't understand the betting one. And then the same thing, like you said, just come out and just start talking shit. Like, that dude doesn't deserve it. That dude sucks. That dude, like, what? Don't get it. All right, let's start getting back to business.
Next to the scale, Rafael Alves. Official weight of 155 pounds for Rafael Alves.
Still got Charles Johnson.
You should give me one second. Keep pointing to it.
I guess your teacher.
Save you. It's good material too.
It's decent.
Next to the scale, Augusto Sakai. Official weight 265 pounds for Augusto Sakai.
All right, so that takes us down to just Charles Johnson, I believe, at this point. One left to weigh in. Still 45 minutes, so no reason for concern. Yeah, and you know what I always say, like, criticisms are fine. What I always tell people, especially like you know, when I talk to like aspiring journalists or whatever, is just don't write, say, tweet anything that you wouldn't say to somebody's face. You know what I mean? And I think it's totally fine to say to a fighter, you know, hey, I don't know, it looked to me like maybe your cardio wasn't there in the third round, and that was the difference in the fight. It's a fair assessment, right? I mean, you can say that to somebody and then maybe find out, oh, well, they were injured coming in, or yeah, you know, a lot of times if you say something like, you might find out, yeah, well, truth is, you know, my knee was tweaked, so I couldn't really do my cardio the way I normally do, so I was probably not in the best of shape or whatever, you know, or, oh, it looked like to me you made a mental mistake in this moment. Totally fair criticism, but the people like, that dude sucks and this, that, and just to talk the trash, like, I don't get it, man. Like, just don't say, tweet, write anything that you wouldn't say to somebody's face. Capaldo, no, I haven't. I gotta find out. I'm actually gonna go meet Rob Haydak again this afternoon. I'll ask him about Capaldo. I haven't heard. I know for a while I think he was just trying to. He didn't really want to book fights because I think he was trying to stay ready for the call up. And felt like he should get the call up, and I don't necessarily disagree that he should get the call up. I mean, I think that's such a heartbreaker, right? He got selected for Contender Series, and then had a COVID test, and so wasn't able to compete, man. So yeah. Yeah. T-Rex is a great dude, man. What'd you do? You pissed him off? Why'd you? I mean, that's fair. I mean, I don't know what article you're talking about, Andrew, but that's fair. As long as look, criticism is 100%. Like, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, everybody makes errors in judgment, does whatever. Just feel like there's a respectful way to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Scrolling up a little bit. So Ron Swanson asking about the parade. Did you see somebody had like a sign or whatever? It was like, your wife's in my DMs. And he showed it to Dustin. Dustin slapped him. But I was just like, what are you doing? Especially like that. Like, that's another thing too that I don't get. Like, I mean, I just think you should be respectful as a rule anyway. Like I said, you can be critical, but I think you should be respectful anyway. But like, man, you start talking about somebody's wife or somebody's kids, like, F you for real. You know? Like, honestly, like, people talk trash about me or whatever. I just skip it and move on. I don't care. I don't even acknowledge it. But you talk about my wife or my kid, like, now we got a problem. Yeah, that's trash, dude. Yeah, Richard, that's not cool. I knew what you meant. See? Little typo. Don't worry. Might even been autocorrect. Sometimes autocorrect F's you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that, because like I understand the sentiment, but it just felt a little out of place there. So I totally understand that. Well, see that Zach, that whole thing about like, look, Kevin only ain't losing his credential over anything he writes. I guarantee you that. Like, Kevin's been covering the sport from 2005, 6. I mean, tough right at the beginning. And he in the beginning didn't like MMA. You know, he was a boxing guy and he didn't like it. But he was the local reporter here. He worked for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And so they basically like came to him, you know, like, hey man, can you please cover the sport? And he was like, I don't really like it. And they're like, well, let us help teach you about it and educate you on why we think it's a good sport and why you might like it. And now he's a fan. But he ain't losing his credentials. Like, and trust me, him and Dana, they've gone years without speaking. Like, I mean, maybe that's not public, but I don't think, like I said, I don't think Kevin would mind me sharing that. Him and Dana have had their spats over the years, man. They've had disagreements over stuff. So this whole idea of like, oh, the media won't say anything because they're afraid to lose their credential, like, honestly, you don't even need a credential anymore to cover the sport. Like, there's so much stuff available. The fighters are so available. Like, you don't even really need to be here to cover it. They send out the videos. They send out the scorecards. They send out everything, you know? So I think that's a little bit overblown these days. Sometimes people just have different opinions, you know? But with all that being said, I agree, Andrew. That stuff was it wasn't really necessary in the article. I know I didn't have to write about it because Sports Illustrated already had somebody that wrote about it. I was off that day when it all came out, so I didn't have to write about it. But, I really liked what Dana said when he came and said, like, dude, don't try to apologize for me. Like, don't try to make excuses for me. There are no excuses. There are no reasons. Like, I messed up and took ownership and just said that, I agree with that. But I was never one of the people like, oh, I saw a lot of the articles like Dana has to step down. Dana has to go away. And we talked about this a little bit on some of these chats. I was never of that opinion that, oh, because he did this, like, he's got to go away. That's just, you need to take responsibility for it. You need to take ownership of it. I wish they would have used it. I wish they would have done more like charitable good out of it. But as far as that article goes, I tend to agree with you. I don't think some of that stuff was necessary. Surprised nobody asked Dana about whether he thinks he may need to shy away from alcohol. I think he has, to be honest with you. I think he's, like, notice how much weight he's lost. Like, I think he's, but I think he's drinking a lot less. But it's just it's a weird thing too, right? When you talk to somebody about their professional situation, then you start talking to them about their personal lives as well, like, I don't know that I would ask that question. Like, I mean, he did say, because he even said, he was like, we definitely drank too much, but that's not an excuse. But yeah, I don't think he goes out as much as he used to. I mean, he still goes and plays cards and stuff. I appreciate that, Zach. Of course, there was criticism. You should have gone harder on him. You should have gone this. But I thought I asked him the questions that were fair, and that mattered. I don't know. I appreciate saying that. Like I said, no matter what you do, someone's going to criticize. It's either too soft, too hard, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't do your job. But yeah, there you go, Justin. It's TMZ topics. Sorry, I was trying to see what they were saying there. If maybe we get the face-offs a little bit earlier. We're still waiting on Charles Johnson, though, I believe, right? Unless I didn't miss him, did I? I don't remember seeing him. No, we're still waiting on Charles Johnson. But I guess they're trying to get the face-offs done a little bit early. They might have some other stuff to shoot. Let's see. Ooh, all right, fight of the night. Let's pull up the card here. Well, I'm looking forward to Muniz Allen, and I'm hoping that turns into a jiu-jitsu match. I hate Mike Malott and Johan Lainus because they both came through CFSC, and I hate seeing them fight each other. But they can both scrap too. What else? Rafael Alves is always in a fun fight, right? So that's got the possibility of being it. He's a little bit wild. All right, I got to pick a fight of the night.
No, Martinez.
Fuck it. I'm going Muniz Allen. I'm going Muniz Allen. Gonzalez and Peak. Oh, maybe Malat and Lyness could be a fun fight. What about you? What are you guys thinking for the night? It's an excellent CFFC main event. I know. I just hate it. I can't help it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When people come through CFFC, I cheer for them, man. I'm pulling for them. So to see them get faced off against each other, I'm like, damn it. I mean, I guess if they're gonna fight, like, at least it's at the UFC level, and then they're getting they're getting paid for it. But you like Gonzalez Peak as well. Yeah, it should be good. I think Scott, I forgot. I need to take part in that. I always forget. That's a shout out to my man Cody Merrill for running that. I like the guys over at Verdict are super cool too, man. I really like those guys. Yep, Jazz is vicious. It's Jazz Divisius, but I still say Jazz Divicious because I purposely mispronounced her name because I thought it was cooler. I told her and she was cool with it. I was like, hey, I think Jazz Divicious sounds better, so I'm going with that. For a fighter, Jazz Divicious, you're vicious. I do think Aliv is a real deal. I do think he's a real deal. That's a good way to say it, man. It's okay to be positive and cover the fun side of the sport. You know what? That's kind of where I kind of feel like most people that cover the sport are like burned out on the sport, and like I still want to talk to the people that are passionate about it, and like, you know, there's plenty of people covering those stories. Not to say that I won't cover those stories, but since I left Junkie, I can cover whatever I want, and honestly, I don't really want to focus on that side of the sport. So, nope. Oh, you good? Now you good? Oh, everybody take a little HD. It's all good, you know. Oh, Benito Charles. I like Benito in that fight too, man. I think Benito gets disrespected a lot, man. I like Benito in that fight. Oh, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. Underdog pick of the week is Alice over Aliv. So I'm saying that could be fun. That could be fun too. I was kind of buried there earlier. I guess now it's the first fight of the night with Cowan and Perez off. First fight of the night. That could be a good one. Yeah, Cody's the man. Cody's been a huge asset. And we're still getting started. I mean, I've told people I'm proud of where we're getting with the underground. Some of the changes that we want to do are a little slower going than I'd like, but I got to remember, because that's what happened with Junkie. Like years and years ago when I joined Junkie, you know, I was employee number one, right? Dan and Tom and Eric had started the site, and then they hired me as the first person. And one of the reasons we sold to USA Today in 2011 was just because we needed help. You know what I mean? Like, you need resources to get stuff done. And so there's a lot of things I want to do with the underground that we just don't have the resources for right now. So it's slower going than I'd like for some of the changes, but we'll get there. We're gonna keep moving forward. We got some vision for it. Yeah. Benito Charles, that's a hell of a fight. And yeah, Benito deserves mad respect. Mad respect as a fighter and mad respect as a dude, man. Like, honestly. And it's so funny because I always, like, there's so many nice dudes in the sport. Like, there's so many nice people involved in the sport. I think there's something about the fact that, you know, when you lose here, you get humbled. You know what I mean? On your bad days, you get your ass beat in front of the world that makes you humble. So there's so many good people in the sport, but Benito is, like, next level. He's, like, in that top tier of nice people, you know? Ooh, mismatch of the night. Well, I mean, look, Tatiana Suarez, before she got hurt, we were talking about this earlier, but I thought future champ, no question about it. Like, I know the female Habib or whatever, like, it's kind of a lazy comparison, but I think it's fair, dude. Like, just her grappling is so good. But we don't know if she's going to be able to rebound like that, right? So if she's still that Tatiana, then yeah. But boy, I look at that line right now, minus 750. Wow. I mean, we haven't seen her in years, and she's fighting up a weight class. So I was not shocked by that line because I think people just have that much respect for Tatiana. But question marks. You know what I mean? So that one could be. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for
Shabib. Shabib Nurmagomedov. That's pretty funny. I don't ever seen that. I don't know if you came up with that, but I hadn't seen that before. That's funny.
She wants me for whenever they want. If they want me for Thursday, if they want me for Friday, or Saturday. I'll travel in according to Shane will just be me on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people look at Selecki. That's a big favorite as well. So. Oh. Is that our last one? Yeah.
Next to the scale, Charles Johnson. Official weight 130 pounds for Charles Johnson.
It's a catchweight. It's a catchweight. No, because it got changed to a catchweight because he had a late replacement. But earlier, like his opponent came on and it was like 130, and she was like 130. What the?
Well, 130.
130? Are you sure?
Well, in my head, I don't know why I was thinking 180 had to be right because the 3 and the 8. I was
They're
like,
bringing them up now. Please go. We have a very short window for Nick. I need Nick to go up.
Go, Nick.
We're going face-offs early?
Well, after as soon as he's done with medical. But Nick has a very short window to do something for me, so he can't stand around and talk.
Get out of here.
I learned that lesson.
Wait, what?
Your wife?
Jamila got traumatic cataract? What is that? No, I didn't see that.
Just now?
All right, let me. I'm gonna switch lenses real quick. Sounds like maybe we'll get this a little bit early. So I'm gonna switch lenses real quick. You guys are familiar, you know what's up, but the video will drop out for a second. The stream will stay live, the audio will stay hot. But I gotta switch lenses and it drops when I pull it out. So give me just 1 second. All right, we're back. Shabib. I'll have to search that out, Zach. No, I didn't see that. What even is that? Is that like I guess that's an eye injury, right? I'm reading it now. There was a time in my life I refused to log on to MMA fighting.
Over here, but not quite as bad.
What? What did Jim Miller say on Instagram? That's why I look like I was smoking Parmesan cheese off the floor with the president's son. Jim fucking Miller. This quote is awesome. If I close my left eye, I can't really read the letters on the archery target, but I can see a motherfucker standing in front of me. Oh, I love Jim Miller. Oh, man. I love that. That's great. Well, that sounds scary, but it sounds like it's not too bad. So that's good news. That's good news. Yeah, Jim Miller's gonna be on 300. That's God. I ain't gonna say it. Well, I guess I have to say it. That's the only bad thing about like picking an exact date is that like, because he's got to be on 300. Like he's got to be on 300. How cool would that be to be on 100, 200, and 300? But then you just worry about like some kind of injury or something like that that keeps him from being ready on that particular day. But fingers crossed, baby. MMA gods, give us that one, huh? Give us that one. What else? Oh, that's weird. I DM Mick and ask. It's usually Sean. Mick doesn't come in until later. Although they were filming Tough Fights yesterday, so I don't know if Mick would have come in for that or not. He may still be here. I haven't heard about Mickey Gall lately. Brendan Fitzgerald got the Severe MMA shirt they put out, striking and grappling and aggression and octagon control. Severe that made that. Your addiction keeps you here. James, we're all addicted to this stuff. NP. Baby, can we face these fighters off? So true. Right here, baby. 5 seconds, baby. Heidi's the best. Yeah, Scott. I mean, if she wins next, you gotta fight her in. You gotta fight her for the title. I mean, the title fight's gotta be next for Danielle Kelly.
It would be like Tom and Bill and Brewski and. Mura's got really good grappling, but I just think Danielle Kelly is better because she's, the pure grappler. Like, she's not even focusing on all the other aspects that you have to learn from MMA. And it was funny, too. Like, I did an interview with her, and I didn't put out the video because she had to reschedule, and when she rescheduled, when she was available, I was on the road, and so I ended up talking to her. I wrote a piece for Sports Illustrated, so I wrote the piece, but I didn't put the video out because her video was fine, but mine, it was while I was in LA for Bellator, and so I didn't have, like, it was just like my camera from my computer, and the lighting was shit. It just looked like trash. So anyway, I didn't put it out. But the way she broke it down, man, because Miura goes to like this scarf hold position. She's a judo specialist. She gets that scarf hold and works the arm lock. And talking to Danielle about like, hey, I just asked her like, hey, you see it? Like, is anything to worry about? Like, should she do anything special? And the way she broke it down, like techniques, like, well, what she does is she fakes a double leg, which gets you to sprawl, which exposes your head and arm. She grabs the head and arm. She goes to throw from there, and she gets into the scarf hold position. She was like, yeah, I've been studying her a little bit, so that was pretty funny. So I think she's super well prepared, and I just think she's a better grappler. So, yeah, I think you got to find grappling specialists to go against her, not just MMA fighters. Like, I think she'll beat pretty much everybody. Anyway, she's going up in weight a little bit as well, so we'll see how that plays out. But I'm excited to watch that card tonight. And that main event, Lineker Andrade, or Andrade as they say it. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's how they say it.
Do you remember there was
Chris Moutinho.
So when they were like on the show in terms of sports television back in like the 90s, there was a guy, Ted Saran.
Oh, Bracketona. To be honest, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really check up on the Tough rumors that much. I actually like Tough, but I actually like, as weird as this may sound, because I feel like most people don't care that much about the news, so I don't really check into it. But I actually like to be surprised by it, so I can watch the show. I used to have this thing where I used to have to write the recaps for all this. This was years and years ago from The Ultimate Fighter, and so like I'd watch the show in advance. Like I'd get advanced screeners of it and stuff, and I don't know. I like to avoid spoilers. Like I hated knowing in advance who was winning, because then I'm like, why am I watching the show and having to write up a recap of everything that happened if I already know? So I kind of got in the habit of going out of my way to avoid tough spoilers, so that at least if I watch it, I'm intrigued by it instead of already know what's going on. So I don't know, to be honest with you.
Like it wasn't like there was a marketing team.
But I know that that's the concept, right? That they've got like some fighters that have previously been in the UFC, and then they have some newcomers as well. So those names would definitely make sense.
I knew I needed a name like that.
Katona makes sense. Soriano makes sense. Roberts makes sense. It all makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like we're in 99.
Yeah, I gotta find out about that. The whole thing about Conor bumping guys, because we had originally heard they had more people in town than they had positions on the show. So I don't know if that was always the intention to cut some guys. It sounds like it was. Because we heard they had more guys than they actually had space for. So I don't know if it was necessarily Conor coming and bumping people or not. I know people got bumped 100%. Yeah, definitely. But I feel like that was already the intention. I love the comeback seasons, though. It's kind of I don't know. When they did Tough Live, I remember, it's been a while too that I thought about this, because the Tough Live was awesome, right? Because again, there's nothing taped. Like you're watching it unfold right in front of you. Now, it sucked for the fighters because it was like 15 weeks long and they were stuck in the house and all that. But I loved it. I loved going to the Ultimate Fighter gym, watching the fights live, because it was, it wasn't pre-taped. And it made me think, what would be cool is like, what if you had like a weekly show, kind of like Contender Series or whatever. What if you had a weekly show of like 4 fights, maybe 5 fights, maybe 4 fights, something like that, where like, and this is kind of cruel, I know, but like everybody's fighting for their contract. Like maybe you got people on the bubble that you're thinking it's like, well, we got 4 fights. The 4 people that win stay in the UFC. The 4 people that aren't are released. Like, whew, that's some tension right there. Like, dude, you're fighting. Yeah. So, I don't know where I got that from. I guess I like the comeback. I think it's more identifiable. The comeback seasons, I think, are fun because it's people you already know, right? Whereas sometimes I think people don't watch Tough because they're like, I don't even know who these people are, so why do I care? But if you already know who they are and you know their stories, you know where they come from, maybe you care a little bit. Anybody see Mitchell Sipe get kicked off of a power slap? I don't know if anybody's watched that or not, but I thought that was crazy. He got like belligerently drunk and kicked off the show. Well, Nick, you're kind of right. In the Contender Series is kind of changed that way now. We're like, because now it just seems like if you win, you get in, right? It didn't in the beginning. In the beginning, it was like one person a week or two people a week. Now it seems like everybody that wins gets one. So I guess you're right. I guess it kind of is that way now. Well, see, that's why I had the thought years ago.
Boring Super Bowl.
Oh, I can't lie, Ron. I watch it. I didn't watch it. No, I did watch this week's. I'll watch it. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, to be honest, I can't imagine the Power Slap show sticks around. To be honest, I was really surprised they did that show to begin with. Like, that to me is just always viral content. Like, it seems to me like that's just made for TikTok. It's made for Instagram. It's made for whatever, like this one moment. So I'm really, really surprised they did the show. I kind of feel like maybe they just did the show as just like a Trojan horse of like, hey, let's just at least put this out there so that we say like it was born from a television show or whatever. But I can't imagine there'll be more than one season of the show. Let's see, Nick knows what's up. It is trash TV. I cannot imagine they do more than one season. But boy, I was watching something. What was I watching the other day? I don't know, one of those round the horn type shows or whatever, and they were actually talking about the NBA viewership is down like 50% from 10 years ago, which is crazy because I feel like the NBA is hotter than it's ever been. But that's just like viewership numbers are just down, like in general, across the board. Like everybody will tell you, like TV ratings aren't what they once were. So comparison is kind of hard to do. But all that said, I still never understood that being a TV show. Like it's viral content. So it's basically just jackass. That's honestly that's kind of been my position on the whole thing to begin with. Is it like you think it's stupid? Like I totally get why. No big deal. Like I totally understand. I'm not trying to say people should watch it, but I also just think adults should be able to do whatever they want to do. So like it needs to be banned or whatever. I'm just like, does it though? Like we're okay with a high kick knockout on Saturday night, shin to the head knockout, but this needs to be outlawed. Like, man. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that was. I can't imagine their expectations were that big for it, but. All right, another Narulo fan in here, Tajikistan. Ja Morant, dude. I got to watch that. I watched that All-Star game. He's good, man. He's fun. I mean, obviously the All-Star game is not exactly competitive, but just to see him out there, he's good, man. Yeah, Nick, that's true. They're just getting hammered like. So for anybody that hasn't been watching it, what did they call it? They called it the. They basically created an alternate house where somebody gets hammered, and I can't remember what they called it. It had a funny name, like, God, I don't remember. It was a Bro Hotel or something. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Somebody chime in if you remember it. But yeah, for anybody that's not watching it, they created a second house where if people get too hammered, they just take them there to sleep it off. Like, what? They're like, bro, you gotta go. You gotta go. Coke Hotel. Oh man.
Too much laughing going on back there. Are you even working?
We have fun. We have fun at MMA Underground. We still like the sport over here at the Underground.
Ooh.
Shots fired. Cold Coffee's like, there's too much laughing going on there. The Boneyard, I like it. Thoughts on Muniz fight? That might be my favorite fight on the card, to be honest with you. Muniz now. Oh, I seen a ruler already lined up over there. It looks like we're gonna get these face-offs started, maybe. But no, I love the Muniz Allen fight. I would love for Muniz Allen to agree to no strikes and just slap hands and go to the mat immediately, and let's have some jiu-jitsu. All right, I'm gonna go get in position because it looks like we're about to start our face-offs.
Yeah, do that. Why don't you act like you're here to work?
You guys live streaming?
Yeah.
How many people are watching?
Not a ton. It's not a big part. But you know.
Consistency.
We deliver the consistency. We chat. We talk to the man. See, we interact with that.
I saw the video. I was like, "Are we at a pay-per-view?" He's like, "What's up with the pastries?" I think they made a mistake.
Ooh, we weren't supposed to have this.
We weren't supposed to have those. Yeah. We found them in the back. Like, yeah. If you give them napkins, they're gonna expect it next time.
I mean, I was talking shit, but it's true.
Do the Bruce Buffer. You have to jump.
Ready?
Cut it off. Thank you. You gotta have fun here.
They got to. It's supposed to be fun.
Not it's just a warehouse.
Brandon Fitzgerald's over here doing a buffer imitation. We're trying to have fun in here.
Leg on the table.
What's that? Oh yeah. No, I didn't warm up. I got it.
Then you get a proper warm up.
Hey, yeah. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Sean Shelby here to stare these athletes down. We're going to move our start time a half hour back. First fight will be at 1:30 local time, 4:30 Eastern on ESPN+. We begin in the lightweight division. Narulo Aliv takes on Rafael Alves. Up next, another lightweight bout, Carl Deaton takes on Joe Selecki. A catchweight bout is next, Charles Johnson takes on O'Day Osborne.
That's a first.
Deaton had the under.
We're back to the lightweight division next. Victor Martinez takes on Jordan Levitt. Up next, we're in the women's flyweight division. Gabriela Fernandez takes on Jasmine Jasdavicius. And our featured prelim is in the lightweight division. Trevor Peak takes on Eric Gonzalez. Main card starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN+. It begins in the welterweight division. Yolan Lanus takes on Mike Malott.
Go, Mike.
Up next, we're in the women's flyweight division. Montana De La Rosa takes on Tatiana Suarez. Heavyweights are up next. Dante Mays squares off against Augusto Sakai. Our co-main event is at middleweight. Brendan Allen takes on 11th ranked Andre Muniz. And our main event, 5 rounds if needed at light heavyweight. 8th ranked Ryan Superman Spann takes on Nikita the Miner Krylov.
Ryan, I'm your biggest fan.
Ryan Spann, Nikita Krylov in our main event tomorrow night. We'll see on ESPN+.
We had some fun there. If you could see that, Brendan Allen yelled off stage. He was like, "Oh, I'm your biggest fan." Spann ended up cracking up. So, Homeboy Hotel. That's right. That's what they call it. Homeboy Hotel. That was it. Cracked me up. All right, guys. Enjoy it. As always, appreciate everybody for putting up with me in the beginning when I was an idiot and messed up the audio to start with. So thank you for everybody who stuck around. Enjoyed the chats as always. Dude, whole bunch of stuff going on, man. You got one championship tonight. You got PFL tonight. You got BKFC tonight. You got Bellator tomorrow morning. You got UFC tomorrow morning. A lot of stuff. If you want to see people hating on the sport, go to MMAJunkie.com. It's true. They don't even like it. You guys take it easy. We'll talk soon. Appreciate you guys. Have fun.
He's bringing the heavy artillery.